Today's guest is Phil Britton. Phil is a former professional baseball player who was a junior college All-American and led the nation in RBIs. He was drafted by the Atlanta Braves and played in both the Braves and Orioles organizations. He currently runs Britton's Bullpen in Olney, Illinois, and is the head of the Southern Smoke travel baseball team. Please enjoy. All right, today, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I have Phil Britton with us today. Thank you for joining us, Phil.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We had a little bit of technical difficulty there.
We got to sort it out. You got to sort it out.
But you're a very patient man, and I appreciate it. Thank you for coming up today. It's kind of a big day in our family. My son's going to be signing his letter of intent to play college ball, and you're a big part of that.
Oh, it's a big day. Yeah, man. It's awesome.
We're been a lot of years, in the making, and a lot of people involved in it. Before we get into your pro ball playing and coaching and the organization that it is an organization. The Southern Smoke is not a team. It's different, But before we get into that, what was your early life like? Where did you grow up? Where did you play ball in high school? Hobbies?
Early life. I can take you back as far as I need to, I guess. But I grew up in a little town, Calhoun, Illinois. I drive by it on my way to Parkersburg, where I live now. But, I grew up in a little town of Calhoun and with my mom, dad, and then I've got a younger brother, Nathan Britton. And as far as how I grew up, and we grew up out in the country, man.
So you're a country boy.
Yeah, stray cats, dogs. Running around all over the place, no underpinning underneath the house, frozen pipes. That's how I grew up, man.
Yeah, it sucks crawling up underneath the house.
Yeah, I can remember being young. I remember having a propane bottle with my old man underneath, showing me how to go back and forth over copper pipes, on copper pipes.
Well. Wyatt's done that.
Yeah,
he's done that with
doesn't
me.
Shock me. Yeah,
our back bedroom sometimes underneath we got a bathroom back there, and if it doesn't get sealed up right,
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been there. I know what that's like. So Southern Illinois, running around. I'm guessing.
I lived in Calhoun. I lived there from the time I was around 3.5, 4 years old until I was 12 or 13, and then we moved up north of Olney, in Dundas.
Okay.
Just south of Dundas, I guess. And then grew up there and, finished out until I left and moved out. And yeah, as far as from, the Calhoun days, I'll kind of refer to them, was there all over the place. The Calhoun's not very big. You probably I think when we lived in Calhoun, you might have seen closer to 300, 400 people. I would be shocked if there was, 100 people that lived in Calhoun now. Like most other things, just things kind of get run down and there's not, a inflow of money, and, you can only fix so many roads and fix so many problems with the very little tax that comes in anyway. So you're
seeing that all over. Rural America is really drying up, and
yeah.
And that's a shame. So what were your hobbies? Outside of baseball,
we had, baseball obviously, but we were always kind of out in the sticks, out in the woods. We had beagle dogs growing up.
Oh,
so we would run rabbits. So I grew up rabbit hunting. There was, I really enjoyed, there used to be a pheasant reserve program. DNR had a pheasant reserve program in Calhoun that my grandfather on the Lambert side, he helped kind of facilitate, and we'd check hunters in, and then we'd also run the grill. So I got to cook for the hunters on Saturday and Sunday mornings when you didn't have basketball practice. On Saturday morning you should have basketball practice. But yeah, you get Saturday, Sunday mornings. It was a treat to go in there and cook. So
that's cool. Yeah. Hang out with hunters and talk to the older guys.
Yeah. And then we'd go turn pheasants loose too. You'd have different plots, and hunters would pick out which plots they're going to go hunt on, and they'd take their bird dogs, and they'd pay for birds. You pay $6 to $8 for a quail, and you pay 12 to 13 or whatever it was for a pheasant, and then you go turn them out and kick them loose, and then they would go. And then you always had to check back in to let them know how many birds you killed and then what was maybe left. And so, yeah, it was neat.
I tell you what, pheasant hunting is one of my favorite types of hunting.
Do you have them up? Do you get them up here?
Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
But we used to have fence rows, especially north of here. North of here, when you get past like the northern part of Shelby County,
Sure.
that's when it really gets flat. And it used to be full of hedgerows, fence rows.
Yeah.
And like when I was a kid, we'd hunt our property. We'd kill pheasants, off our property. And then we'd go down a couple mile from the house, and we had, and then I have a good friend of mine. He's big into bird, and he works at a preserve now since he's retired. So yeah, it's a ball. Now I like the pheasants better than the quail because I can hit those easier, But okay, so typical rural country boy. You're playing sports. What sports did you play?
I played them all growing up. My favorite sport was basketball. I mean, Michael Jordan was, he's the GOAT, no doubt about it. But, then you play basketball, baseball, football. We had rollerblades, and we had to get dumped off in town, really. It was hard to rollerblade on chip sealed roads. And so, we'd go in town and get dumped off and go play roller hockey in the high school parking lot. Or if we were really fortunate, we'd find a tennis court. But yeah, the main three, played football, flag football. I played football up until I was a junior in high school. I didn't play my junior and senior year. I played golf, and then I played basketball up and through my 8th grade year. And then I got to the realization where, the games were fun. Football games were fun, but I did not care to work at the practice that it took. I still I love to shoot baskets. Basketball's still fun, but you get to a point where it's, hey, this is, I don't really love doing it. And so what's the point in doing it if I don't really love doing it, other than just as a hobby? But there's no reason for me to be on any kind of a competitive team if I'm not bought in to do the work that other guys are doing to be really worth a lick at it. And so, I would, as far as baseball goes, I'd make up little drills. As far as a catcher, we had these just little oblong shaped bouncy balls that we actually got as souvenirs, I think, but we'd fire those up the stairs, and then I would block them on my way down. It was just all hand-eye coordination, but just like fun. Just games you play. No different throwing a ball off a wall, trying to go run and touch something before it hits the ground, stuff like that. We did all the time. Sure.
But you got bit when the baseball bug bit you.
Oh, that was, I was in T-ball, man. That was
really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was, and it was good for me because, man, I wanted to be, like most guys, I did not care to want to make mistakes whatsoever. And man, it was very humbling. And I also had some people humble me along the way too. I needed every ounce of it. Still do. Yeah. But yeah, I needed every single bit of it.
Yeah. When did you know you had a chance to play at the next level, that you had a chance to play college baseball? Was that a dream that happened early on? Obviously the goal is to play professional, but there's steps along the way.
So I had a few. I was very fortunate because my dad, he was Dennis Conley, who's a 43-year career Hall of Fame JUCO coach, is the third most wins of all time, right in Olney, Illinois. And so I was very fortunate that I knew DC just for as long as I can ever remember my entire life. But my dad was a scorekeeper / manager for Coach Conley's first ever team, I think, back in 1980. I think it was 80. And so that's how I knew Coach Conley. And then I came rolling through in 84. DC's still there. And I'm old enough to go to some of Coach Conley's camps. And so, and I'm that dirtball kid that, my dad's keeping an eye on camps and stuff.
Right.
And he's always stayed in touch with DC. And now it's time for me to go to some camps, and kindly knew we weren't rolling around in money with,
Sure.
A ton of opportunities, but my parents, they provided all kinds of opportunities. So
I get it. Yeah.
And went into, have instilled to this day anything
Sure.
that I've ever needed or ever need. Hey, when and where? That's always
Right.
a response. So, very fortunate to begin with to have parents that have wanted to do nothing but just provide opportunities, and as long as we're willing to work for it, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you can't be a knucklehead, but just a loving, supporting family.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you enjoy doing this, then, we'll help you do it. So, that's, those are the parents that I have. But, as far back to your original question, like, when did you know? And I didn't ever honestly think, hey, I've got a chance to play. I always went with the approach of, I love playing, and I'm going to show up today early and stay late. I'm going to show up tomorrow early and stay late. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to get there tomorrow. I can't wait to go to the next day. I can't wait for the next day. I can't wait for baseball season to start. And I can't wait for practice, which is different. Is what it turned into. Football practice turned into a chore. Basketball practice turned into a chore. And I will tell guys now, you could have told me to run a mile in football pads and I'd have cussed you the whole way. You tell me, hey, run a mile in your catcher's gear, and I was like, all right, like I'm off. I'll see you later. And
you just had more of a love of the game of baseball.
Well, yeah, just like I'll do anything for baseball.
Sure.
That's basically what it boiled down to, is like, hey, if I will do anything for baseball, like I love it. So, you start going to some of Coach Connolly's camps at, 8 years old, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it turned into, part of my payments to go to some of DC's camps. Like, hey, just, get him here early, and he can help me set up, and then he can help me take down. And, it's kind of a trade, just kind of help us out a little bit. And so, that was early. And then it turned into working some of Coach Connolly's camps. I got old enough to get 13, 14, 15 years old, and, hey, Phil, I got a camp. Can I get help? And he always took care of us, man. He always took care of us. I'll leave a few of those stories out, but man, we had a couple kids that I'll just tell you, we were working a camp one time, and Coach Connolly will still tell me, like, he's the only kid I've ever had come up and drop an F-bomb on me at a baseball camp. But we were rolling kids ground balls, and you had to, if you missed a ground ball, you had 3 push-ups.
Right.
Well, this kid, and it was for everybody, it was consistent, but man, this kiddo, he did not like doing push-ups, and it wasn't like we were killing him. These guys were 8 and 9 years old, and we were just like, hey, you got 3 push-ups.
Right.
We're 14, 15-year-old kids that are, putting kids through this line, and this kid comes up to DC and is like, I'm going to call my brother and have him kick his effing butt, and just, but it's like, and Connolly comes up, you got to know Coach Connolly, you got to know DC, but he doesn't stand very tall, but man, he will put the absolute fear in you.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but that's the first time I've ever had a kid drop an F-bomb at camp for me. I just, whatever you're doing, tone it down.
Right. Yeah.
Like, all right. So we got through camp. It ended up being a good camp, but yeah, it was we'll laugh about that every once in a while. Like, yeah, it's the only time anyone's ever dropped an F-bomb. And DC tells the story probably better than I do. But
now I'm guessing at this time you're getting into, by your high school, you're making all conference. You're obviously a starting varsity catcher.
Yeah, well, so it kind of rewinds. I fell in love catching really when I was like, catching got all the action. Like, I wanted to catch when I was in coach pitch. I remember putting the gear on, like, yeah, awesome. And like every time the ball was hit, I was asking for it to home. I was telling everybody 4-4, like, Phil, the guy's not even coming your way. Like, you can't
routine play at first. You're 4.
Yeah, you can't be screaming for the ball, man. You're tripping everybody up. So, but I got moved. I wasn't ever a really big kid, but I was athletic enough, and I threw all the time. Like, I threw it didn't matter what it was. Like, hey, I bet I can hit that over there. You pick a rock up and you just try to hit it, just always competing with something. But I did have a strong arm, and I started catching a lot when I was 12. And I had a coach and a good friend of mine, and one of my real good friends, Dusty Baker, his dad, Jim Baker, he was a minor leaguer with the Blue Jays. He'd spent, 6-8 years or so as a pitcher for the Blue Jays. And so, man, I mean, everything this guy is saying and doing, and you talk about an awesome human being. Like, he is a top level, grade A. He is an awesome human, and he has done nothing but always treated me awesome and I don't know why. I mean, I worked hard as a kid, but man, just what an awesome dude. But, at 12, I remember him saying, like, hey, you got some tools. He would always say, hey, you got some tools. You just got to keep working hard. Keep putting your head down and keep working hard. And then, I come back and I tell my mom and dad, like, hey, Coach Bake said I got some tools. I got some ability. And it's like, well, yeah, you just got to remember there's going to be somebody out there better than you. So you better just keep working hard. And so I was very fortunate for that. My mom and my both of my parents, my mom and my dad, were like, hey, there's somebody better than you out there that's out working.
Always
so
is.
If you're wanting to be the best, you better work harder. I was very fortunate for that. Like, I mean, they recognize some achievements, and they recognize, again, hey, you played well or whatever. But I mean, there was always hey, there's someone out there that's way better. So you just need to keep working. But anyway, yeah, 12, 13, 14, and I catch a little bit. I get moved into some different positions, some shortstop, some left field, because we had other guys on the team that were able to catch, but maybe weren't as good in other positions. So, like, hey, yeah, we need you to play this position or play that position to kind of help our team out, and that's what we did.
Typical small town baseball.
So we went, and I was my dad coached me growing up, and we had, I was one of our better players on not every team, but most teams that I played on. So, I mean, he was definitely harder on me, I would say, but
dads always are. You can always tell when a dad is talking to a team. You can always tell which kid, if it's a dad coaching, you can always tell which kid's his, because he'll talk to the rest of them. And he might be stern, but then all of a sudden he'll grab one of them. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, that's his boy there.
Hey, I've had every butt chewing I've ever had coming. I mean, every one I've ever had, I've had coming, every single one of them. But I was very fortunate. Like, my dad, and he had really good assistant coaches and guys that would help out. But if there was anything that really needed done, I mean, he would always like, hey, can you go get a hold of, get him by the shirt, or you know what I mean? Sure. If I needed humbled with something, right? He was really good about knowing that, hey, I can rely on one of my other coaches to go handle him versus, that he did a really good job and was way ahead of the daddy ball time, because that's worse than stinking COVID and freaking baseball. Yeah. Especially at the youth levels. It's bleeding into the high school levels now too. It's crazy. But, so anyway, I get into my freshman year, and I had a buddy of mine, and we were trying to win Bruce Springsteen tickets on the radio. Okay. This is an awesome story as to how I used to hang around, like when I was in Little League, I would hang around the equipment managers, the board, whatever. Well, they'd have new equipment day, and so they'd cycle through all the old equipment. You'd have busted. I remember my Uncle Mike helping me run rivets on catcher's gear. Okay, like busted the knee pads or the shin on pads. The shin guards. Yeah. I would try to refurbish some old equipment, and then I actually made one time. I took a bunch of old. My dad, he worked at the hospital in Olney, and there'd be a bunch of old bed sheets, linen and stuff that would be torn. I mean, they'd be clean, but they'd be torn or something to where they couldn't use them. Right. Well, you'd use them in dog boxes. We used to have beagles. We had litters of pups, and so they're always kind of handy. Right. A sheet to. Sure. We had parts in the house in Calhoun. We drape a sheet over to keep hot air. Yes, keep the heat in one room. Yeah. So we would have that in. I would stack those up, and then I hand stitched a chest protector. This is no joke. I wish I still had it. I hand stitched a chest protector.
How old?
I would have been 12. Okay. 12 or 13 or so. I hand stitched this chest protector, and then I took an old dog lead And that was the thing so it looked more like an apron than anything else. But I got to be, I was a freshman in high school, and Curtis Marshall and I were trying to win. You had to be caller number 95 it was 94.9. It was 94.9, the Legend or something out of Evansville. And
Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah. And they went to Try 95 was their big new release. And it was all classic rock stations. So, Zeppelin and Stones and Doors and Eagles.
Good music.
Yeah. So we had a cell phone, and Curtis is inside calling from the landline, and I'm out in my mom's car calling. And so we're listening, and it was Bruce Springsteen, Glory Days.
Yeah.
And I was and Curtis like, this is it. And I didn't know Glory Days.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, well, start calling. So he runs in and he starts calling. He's calling number 1, and I'm calling number 3. So I got to believe that there's nobody trying to call in and win these tickets on a Friday or Saturday night. He was spending the night, so he had to have been off school. So it had to have been a Friday or Saturday. So he's 24 and I'm 29. And this, it feels like it just takes forever. He calls and he's caller number 93, and I'd already shut the door to the car. I was like, yeah, dude, we're not getting him. And he's like, get your butt back in the car, dude. We're calling. So I call again.
And what color do you have to be?
95.
Okay.
Try 95 was what their label they were going to.
You were
we had to
first
be the
and third here in your 20s.
Yeah, like we've cycled all the way up. So I'm like 92 and he's 93, and so I killed off and like, get your ass back in the car and call.
Yeah.
So I call and I was like, hello, who we got here? It's like, this is Phil. Phil, what's up, man? You trying to see Springsteen? It's like, yeah, man, would love to. And he's like, well, congrats, man. You're calling number 95. And I go, holy shit. Yeah. And he goes, oh, man.
Oh, you said that over the air?
I said, oh, shit. No way. And he goes, oh, dude, I'm sorry. We can't give you the tickets. You can't swear on the radio. And I was just like, I was so defeated. And he goes, nah, screw the critics. We're sending in a Springsteen.
Well, good.
So anyway, so as this relates to catcher's gear,
right.
I get to, and of course Curtis is right there with me. So what'd they say? What'd they say? And I still, looking back now, man, it was really, really selfish because like, all right, I'm the 95th caller, and now all of a sudden, and I've got my eyes set on a brand new set of catcher's gear, Mizuno, waffle chested, brand new catcher's gear.
Right.
And now hindsight, we've split a bunch of other things since then, but hindsight, I should have split the tickets with him because I won 2 tickets that were worth $75 a piece on the ticket price. And so anyway, I end up selling these tickets to my freshman comp and lit teacher, Denise Eagleson, who's a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, who I ran into just not long ago, a month or two ago. I was asking her, if she remembered that story, and she's seen Springsteen like 3 or 4 times this year already. Like, still,
wow.
Monster Springsteen fan. And so I sold her those tickets, and that's the money that I used to buy my very first set of brand new catcher's gear.
Was your buddy mad at you?
Well, I wouldn't say mad. He was not mad, but it's kind of like, bro, what's going on, man? Like, come on. Like, I thought we were in on this.
Yeah, we're supposed to go see.
Yeah,
see the boss.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. So
that's early. And then I got into high school, and then Jim Baker was still around is kind of helping us coaching. And I get in as a freshman, and I'm still playing a little bit of shortstop. I'm still catching a little bit, kind of forecasting who's maybe going to be around in the future as far as like, hey, am I even going to have opportunity to catch? And man, I am working my butt off. Coach Baker, like, hey man, you got some tools you need. So I got Coach Conley again, just ragging on me because I'm a beanpole. Can't put on any weight.
Right.
Can't put on any weight. Like, when are you going to get in the weight room? When are you going to find the weight room? When are you going to like, you got all this ability, but you're not going to hold up. You're not going to make it through a season. And boy, you talk about like, all right, man, I'm going to show you. Like, here you go. Like, I'm going to show you. And I still remember talking my mom into taking me to GNC and getting me this big tub of protein. And the person working behind the counter, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I get the person behind the counter, like, yeah, you probably ought to try that first. Let me give you a sample pack. And I'll never forget it. I'm mixing that thing up, and my mom is laughing her butt off at me because I've got to pinch my nose and I've got to pour this like a soup, and it tastes horrible, and I'm gagging, and like, okay. And I hated tuna, but I was like, tuna, hard-boiled eggs, chocolate milk,
and lifting weights.
Yeah, you can't even. So anyway, I mean, that was it. I mean, at that point.
So you start to put some muscle on. You're starting to get a little bigger.
I was still. I mean, as a freshman, I was a bean pole. As a sophomore, I was still a bean pole. The season between my junior and senior summer, and then my senior fall, I was finally able to hit a little bit of a growth spurt and put on a little bit of weight. Still, I think I maybe finished my senior year maybe right around 165, 168 pounds. So I was still not very big, but some things clicked in between. I mean, I hit. But the thing I really remember playing my senior year in high school is I hit I hit a few home runs.
Your senior year, or were you doing that prior to that?
No, I mean I hit a home run as a freshman in a JV game, and still don't have really any idea how I did it. But I didn't hit any home runs my sophomore year or my junior year, and then I don't remember. I hit 10 or 12 my senior year. Oh, wow,
that's a lot of home runs for a high school kid.
And
what kind of average were you carrying?
I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you. Like, I don't.
Obviously, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I was good, but I mean, I wasn't all state good. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, there's definitely some politics involved with that, but. You still have, I mean, that's what I tell people, like, well, there's politics. Like, well, yeah, but you still have to be good. Like, you've got to be.
Oh, sure.
A lot of times, the way that stuff works is your name's got to be on the map to start with. It's hard for somebody to just burst on and have a really good year. I mean, I was a second team All-American my freshman year at OCC, and was first team All-American my sophomore year at OCC, and I had a better year my freshman season than my sophomore season. It was still good, but I had a better year my freshman season than my sophomore season, and it was more or less because the kid before me in that same area is like, well, hey, this kid, I mean, he had it coming last year, but so he's got it coming this year, and that was the year I was a freshman, so it was just it's just how it kind of plays out and works. But at the end of the day, like, none of that matters. I mean,
right.
So
you have the success your senior year of high school.
Yeah.
You're playing good ball. And then that's whenever you go to Olney
Central. So I go to Olney Central. Coach Callahan, he sent me a media guide from that was SIU Carbondale. And I get this thing in the mail, and here's exactly what I do. My mom gives this to me. Hey, this is from Carbondale. And all it was basically just a log of their classes. It was just like, I can't remember what they call them, but yeah, it's just their class schedule. Like, hey, here's what we got to offer. And like, well, what's this mean? Like, I have no idea what's this mean. And so of course, well, yeah, you need to call Coach Conley and ask what the deal is. And I called DC and he's like, yeah, I mean, that's Coach Callahan down there sending you some school information. It means he's got some interest in it. You need to check it out. And I'm sitting here thinking, of my Mount Rushmore of coaches that I have, DC's George Washington of my Mount Rushmore coaches. I'm like,
and like you said, he's one of the best in the country. Well, you say he's number 3 of all time winner.
Yeah, all time JUCO wins. Yeah. But man, you talk about a guy that could, just shape guys. I mean, he was really, really important.
He was a leader of men.
Well, just to get guys right out of high school when you need it more than anything, to have a guy that's not afraid to tell you. And I mean, not afraid to tell you. I needed that, but it was awesome to have because, you just didn't have to ever wonder. And the thing with DC though is he had a bark and he had a legit bite, but it was really only when you had it coming. It wasn't just, it wasn't.
And you knew it.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't. It was never. It was never performance based on, hey, you were ready to make a play and didn't make the play. Like, sometimes you just don't make a play. And then there's other things where, I mean, you're jacking around and now you're not ready. Well, you're going to hear about it.
Right.
You're going to hear from me about it. I mean,
as you should.
Yeah, right. Like, what are you doing here?
Right.
Like, you need to redirect and kind of regather. But, yeah, as far as that, I take that media guide, or it's not a media guide, but the
college catalog.
Semester.
Yeah.
So I take that to DC. It's like, yeah, I mean, you need to go check it out. It may have some interest, but you're not going to go down there weighing that. Like, I mean, so anyway, we have a fall. DC used to put on a fall league at OCC, and it was legit. Like, I mean, we had some guys that could play. Nevin Ashley was a big leaguer. Brian Dinkelman from Centralia was a big leaguer. I mean, we had some guys that could really play in that league. And it was just a fall league that we did on. Sean Garrett would come back over, and he would come back and kind of teach us some things in between our games. You'd have a morning game and then an afternoon game. And one team would have a doubleheader each weekend, and then you'd have instruction in between your games. It was an awesome setup. And bred a lot of really good baseball and had a lot of really good baseball players that came through there. Anyway, I remember playing in that league, and there's DC used to get a ton of kids up from Texas. I mean, talking some blue collar, some gritty. I mean, would hit with work gloves on. Like, I mean, and it wasn't for show. It was legit. And I remember I turned around a fastball. This dude was 92, 94, and I turned around a fastball on this big kid from Texas. I had a line drive right at the third baseman. And then he made me go play first base, and I had no business playing first base. And the same kid bowls me, I mean, just rolls me at first base. I was in the running lane. The throw led me over. Like, I had no business even being there. Like, I didn't get killed. And he comes in afterwards, and some guys get walked in and, hey, here's the school, here's the campus, here's the field, here's what we can do for you, here's what we'd like to do. And like, okay, well, my recruiting visit to Olney Central College was, hey, I think you got a chance to play. I'd like for you to come here and play. I can help you with books and tuition. You're going to live at home, and just give me a couple, or give yourself a couple days, talk it over, and let me know.
And that was it.
That was it. And so I walk out, and I still remember this day. I remember going back. It's like, hey, Coach Conley said I could come out and play for him. And my mom's like, well, what do you think? Well, he told me to come home and think about it. And I was like, well, okay, well then think about it. Right. So I'm talking to my dad, and he's like, well, and I'm 160. I'm not very big at all. And man, I would have, first of all, I don't know that I'd have been able to go any place else. It would have been, I would have been able to go to Lakeland. I was told that, but then the Lakeland coach, Coach Jared up there is like, I'd love to have you, but I know you're going to end up playing for DC. And I talked to somebody else. Yeah, I know you'll end up playing for DC. And so I didn't really know any of this. And DC is not going to, he is not going to chase you around. It was like, hey, here it is. And he's going to be good regardless if you're there or not. Now, I will say this. The 2 years that I was there, he recruited really well. We had the best 2 seasons that OCC's ever put together back-to-back as far as.
So, man, you were there at the right time to be there.
Yeah, we had. My freshman year, I hit in the 5-hole, and we had runners on base every single time I came to the plate. And we had 6 or 7 dudes that had over double-digit home runs. Like,
okay.
We were good.
Now, do I have this right? Did you lead the country in junior colleges for the most RBIs in a season that year, 1 year?
I did, yeah. Right? I did in 2000 and 2004.
That is huge. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it got me drafted. It helped get me drafted.
Yeah.
Well, what got me drafted was, you got to put up numbers and you got to be good. But I was really good defensively as a catcher. Like, I don't want to say that it's easy, but hitting, junior college level pitching for the most, it was, I don't remember, batting. I mean, it was above 400, 420, 4 something.
Which is awesome.
But, and then I hit a couple handfuls of home runs or more. But yeah, I had quite a few RBIs that year, but it was Corey Crow was on second base. He was our leadoff hitter. He caught the year before, and then he moved to center field, and I caught. And I mean, this goes to tell you how fast Corey was. Corey's at second base. I hit a ball. Our fence is 400 at dead center, or 402, 405 at dead center, and I hit a ball 401. And this guy catches it up against the fence and falls down, and Corey Krause scores from second base on a sac fly. Like that's how fast he was.
At that level, that's something.
He could fly. Well, but here's the other thing. Like DC is not afraid to send a guy.
Right.
Hey, we're trying to score runs. So
aggressive.
I had a really good spring, but the thing, looking back as I realized how difficult that league is, I had a higher batting average and I had better numbers in conference than I did out of conference, which is really tough because that league is really good. I mean, it's really, really, really good. And why it's going to get a chance to go down there and get a taste of it. But it's freaking big boy baseball. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, guys are going to airmail throws and guys are going to miss some balls, but I mean, it's
what I did not know through all this process is I did not realize that all of this is new to me. I mean, you can see that this is what I'm more into than sports.
There's deer and turkey and
other wild hogs and antelope.
On the walls.
But for me, like just within JUCOs, I didn't realize there's D1, there's D2. They're just like in the big conferences. I didn't realize
and they offer like Division I JUCOs. You can scholarship kids with housing. Division II JUCOs, you cannot scholarship kids with housing. It's just books, tuition, and fees. I believe I need fact checked on that. But I know that Division II is not able to offer housing as a scholarship option, or they can't give any money for housing. And then Division III junior college, I'm not for sure that they're able to scholarship anything at all. I need double checked on that, but you don't see there's not very many Division III JUCOs around here. You'll see them a little further up north and in the Northeast too.
And then this big thing that they just did, the NCAA, somebody was telling me about, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
That big ruling that came down that a kid can play 2 years at a JUCO and then go play at a 4-year school, and he can walk in as a freshman, right?
I've lost track of that. I know that happened on the football side, and I know that at one point it got blown up like, hey, this is a new precedent that had been set. What you're looking at is, I think you were looking at a high-profile football player who stood to make a lot of NIL money, and so that's why he was able to kind of take it and run with it a little bit. I did see... I can't say exactly. I did see where I saw where they talked about it. They'd put some more together on it, but I've not seen an official black and white. And I can, when we're done here, I can get that answer for you and shoot it over to you because it muddied some waters. But JUCO NJCAA came out with a press release. What floated around all over the place is like, hey, go JUCO because it's free.
Well, I saw a video this one coach put on YouTube. Well, there were several of them, and I don't know who these, but they're like, you would know who they were. And that's basically what they're saying. They were saying that you're going to start seeing like D1 level talent go into these JUCOs. And basically what they were saying is that these D1 and your top D2 schools are probably going to stop recruiting out of high schools, except for there's those
draft level prospects or guys that have extremely high looking ceilings. I mean, you get a kid that's 6'9", that's 88 miles an hour, who's out of Cowden, Illinois, that nobody's ever heard of or seen of. Yeah, I mean, you're going to take a shot on that guy out of high school because it may click and figure it out. But with the way the portal works now, it's crazy. You could go to Northern Illinois. You could go to Eastern Illinois, right? You go to Eastern Illinois, you get to play Division I baseball, and you could blow up and have a monster year, and now you're in the portal because now you get a chance to transfer to a bigger school. Not that I would recommend anybody to do that, but that's what's I use Eastern Illinois as an example just because they're local to here. Like people are going to know what Eastern is, but that happens all the time. There's kids that actively walk in to college campuses at the Division II level, Division III level NAIAs that say, hey, what if I have a big year here? Can you help me move on? Like,
wow.
Are you kidding me? But that's legit where it's at. And so what you do as a college coach is you say, yeah, man, we will help you out however. And what you do is you hope that, one, that kid falls in love with the program and the process. And at the end of the day, if you're good enough, guys are going to find you. And that's basically how now it helps to put some stuff out there nowadays because it's a lot easier for coaches to they've got some dead periods where you're not able to recruit at some of the, Division I levels, D2, D3 levels where you got to stay on campus or, you've got no contact days. JUCO is still the Wild West. So, you can, but why, I just don't, unless you're a high academic kid, you know what I mean? Like you're a high academic kid and you know what you're going to go do. And you are targeting a specific degree from a certain school because the placement rate's extremely high. And this is, what your heart's been desiring and set out to do from the very, very get-go. Yeah, I totally get that. Or you've got a college scholarship fund that's already been set up to you that's generational wealth that's been passed down and like, hey, this is what I really want to go do. I like the campus. I like the facilities. Then, yeah. But other than that, go to freaking JUCO, knock it out where it's still cheap or what I would prefer to tell guys, go to a trade school. Like, go somewhere and learn a trade.
100%.
That's a whole other conversation. The way the whole college system is and the scams behind it, man.
Well, we're moving away. Yeah, we could go down that road, but I want to stay kind of on the baseball side of it. But even in the JUCO, for like what you're saying, what again, learning this surprised me. How many kids get drafted into professional baseball out of JUCOs? Because with Wyatt going through looking at all these different schools, you pull it up and boom, about every one of them has a page of all the kids that have got drafted and went on or played, maybe went to D1. I don't know. It amazes me that the level that you're seeing at the junior college, there's some darn good baseball players there. It isn't all just the D1 and D2 schools, or even.
So you kind of touched on it earlier. If you're a potential draft guy and you go to a Division I school, and this rule maybe has changed. Like I don't want to. I may be corrected on this, but at one point, you go to a Division I school and you're there for 3 years. Like you're not draft eligible until after your junior year, unless there's some really super special cases, maybe after your sophomore year. But or you can go JUCO and you can be draft eligible after your freshman year and after your sophomore year, and then you transfer to Division I school. And now, if you're still good enough, you get drafted after your junior year. For the very, very vast majority of everybody, though, they need to focus on getting a good experience, getting what they're trying to get out of school. If you're trying to get a degree, great. If you're trying to get different trade certificates, if you're trying to get your welding certifications, then go and get them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But go and you're there for some education. Go get it.
Right. Okay. Now let's get back to you. So you had 2 good years at down at Olney. Mm-hmm. You led the nation in RBIs. You're kind of downplaying that a little bit, but to me, that's a big deal. Let's just go straight to you getting drafted. Now, you had offers to play Division I.
I'm downplaying it because there's Hall of Famers. I get it. At the end of the day,
I know, but it's still a big
Well,
deal.
yeah, it's better than average, but at the, who's average? An average big leaguer's average,
right.
It was not. It was neat. I could hit a little bit, but
right.
That's as far as I'm going to take it.
Okay. So you have a couple good years, then you get offers for D1, and then you get drafted. Do I have that?
Yeah. So I my freshman year at OCC, I was actually playing down at Wren Lake, and a scout by the name of Stu Can caught me down there, and he was in town to see I may be getting this wrong, but the way I understand it, Stu Can is a scout that signed me. He's from Kankakee, Illinois.
And who's he scout for?
He was a scout for the Atlanta Braves at the time.
Okay.
So he was in town we were facing Wren Lake, and we were down 1-0 or 2-1, and they brought their closer in that was supposed to be really, really, really good. And I mean, I'm just showing up to catch. I'm showing up to hit. And like, I don't care who the hell this guy is on the mound. I'm just trying to hit. Like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter who's up there.
Right.
I'm trying to hit the baseball.
Just a guy throwing a baseball.
Right. Other than, hey, he's got a good breaking ball. He likes to use it in 1-2 counts, or he likes to elevate late. I mean, outside of scouting reports, I don't care who the guy is on the mound.
Right.
Yeah, I hit a go-ahead 2-run home run against this kid, blew the save, and there were scouts in to watch this kid pitch because he was supposed to be good. And he was good, but
you got him.
For me, I got one, like, all right, like, and then we turn around and Dusty Bate comes in and we shut the door and we win game 1, and I jogged down to the bullpen, and I warm up the game 2 starter, and we played the doubleheader right after that. I played in 120 games at OCC, 60 my freshman, 60 my sophomore year, and that is one thing that I'm proud to say is I've got innings caught recorded in every single game. Every
Wow.
Like, I caught the double headers. I mean, it was
wow.
And between getting home plate ready and getting lines on it, like, I mean, yeah,
That's a lot of work.
Well, yeah, but dude, when you love it, it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man.
That's your passion.
Oh man,
Sure.
put me back there.
Yeah.
Let's go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so that's where I kind of got on the radar. And then and then that season I had a big season. I had a big season my freshman year. And then, I was playing in a collegiate wood bat league down in Nashville, Tennessee. And Mike Rogers gives me a phone call. He says, "Hey, Phil, congrats." And I was like, "Yeah, what for?" And I'm just walking out of the hotel room on the balcony at the Hamilton Inn Suites right off of Old Hickory right outside of Nashville. And it's like, "Yeah, for what?" He's like, "For getting drafted." And I was like, "No kidding." Like, I
had no clue.
I had no idea. I was like, he's like, "Oh, you didn't? No one called you?" It's like, no. I mean, yeah, I had no idea. And so, yeah, Mike Rogers is how I found out I got drafted. And then after that, ended up talking to, and I don't remember the conversation with my mom or dad on that, because really it didn't change anything. Like, you still show up and you still work your butt. I mean, it didn't change anything. Like, you still got to work. And so there wasn't, so back then and they brought it back now, but you could be drafted, and then they hold your draft rights for you up until a week before the draft the following year. So I was drafted in 2004, but I signed before the draft in 2005.
Okay.
And so I played my entire sophomore year before I played my entire sophomore year, and then signed at the end of that year to go down to Orlando, which is where our spring training facility was.
What was that like whenever you walk in? I mean, now you sign, you did it. You sign with the big boys. You're in their organization.
Yeah, it's really
was it intimidating?
Well, yeah. I mean, with the big boys though, like, I walked in the clubhouse with Elvis Andrews. The very first thing is I'd never been on a plane in my life.
Right.
Ever. So, and really had only been to North Carolina as a family vacation, and then Branson, Missouri. And then outside of that, it was baseball. And that's really, we went to those places before baseball really ever got to where it was like, okay, like, we're playing baseball in the summer. So I guess my sophomore fall, I did the recruiting. It was the recruiting. And for me, it was, I visited Evansville back when Itchy Jones was still the coach there. And Itchy was he's a Hall of Fame coach.
It's Itchy Jones Stadium now.
Yeah. Well, Itchy Jones Stadium down in Carbondale.
Right.
Itchy Jones was at University of Illinois when he finished up, and that's so Itchy was recruiting me, and and Eric Snyder, who's down at Louisville now, but Itchy was recruiting me at Illinois. And he would come to Olney too. And that's like Eric's like, hey Phil, like I don't know if you know this, but like Itchy doesn't leave home. Like he doesn't get out. Well, yeah, and I had like me just being a 19-year-old kid, like I didn't have any idea. But looking back now, like yeah, that's pretty cool. And then University of Kentucky was recruiting me. And that part was interesting because I didn't really care to go on to the next school. I didn't care to go to college at that level. Like I didn't, for me, what I was doing, like, which school was going to give me the better deal so I could have more bargaining power in assigning. In a signing,
it was
bonus.
all about making it to
that was it
professional,
right? Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, but as far as
I'm saying that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I'm like, hey, I want to play as a professional. I
can go play more college baseball,
right.
Or I can go play professional baseball.
But right now, I have the chance to go play as a professional baseball player. This is more than a dream come true.
Oh, yeah.
Or I can go sit in more class, get in more debt for something that's going to take me forever to pay off and go get into. Now,
right.
I was getting scholarshiped a pretty good amount. Like I was,
sure.
I was getting a lot of scholarship money. And so
right.
I wouldn't have been in a ton of debt, but I still would have had some. But the other part of this is what if you go down and, I mean, back then you smoke your knee, you blow a knee up and you're freaking done.
Right.
You get crossed or right off, unless you're some crazy high-end 6'4" switch hitting prospect, and I was not that guy. I mean, right. I was a prospect, but I was not a super prospect by any stretch or any means.
Right.
So
you get drafted.
So I get drafted, and hey, here's when you're gonna leave. Here's when you're flying out. Like okay, and
say goodbye to mom and dad. Get on the plane.
Yeah. So I get on. I get on the plane and I leave Indianapolis and I get down there and man, you think like, holy smokes, what's it going to be like? And then you realize that you got to sit in the airport for 4.5, 5 hours with 4 other dudes because traffic is bad and the clubhouse manager, the clubby, doesn't want to drive us back and then drive back and wait on this other dude who's getting off the plane from Hawaii. So here we are sitting, sweating our butts off in Orlando, and we're already worn out and tired, and we got to work out the next day and show up to the clubhouse and kind of do some orientation stuff. And now I get back and okay, here it is. Like I check into the hotel and now I'm by myself. Like, am I going to have a roommate or not? And I get a knock later, about an hour later, I got Travion Griffin as my very first roommate in pro ball. And never forget it, man. We cooked a lot of filet mignons, bacon wrapped filet mignons that we get at the store. And he showed me a different way how to tenderize them and how to marinate them. And that was at the Holiday Inn and Suites in Kissimmee, Florida, next to the Home of the Magic Kingdom was the name. That
had to have been just surreal for you.
Well,
small town. Now you're down in Florida. Florida's exotic anyway. When you grow up,
it's different. Yeah, it was. We were right next to this little place called Old Town, and but the hotels were dumpy. Like they were out. They were outside entrance hotels. Raccoons picking through the trash, digging through the trash. Like every bit of it was as unglamorous as you could get. So we're Googling like where the spring training is going to be, like where we're going. And all you see on these pictures is Gulf Coast. You look up the levels. Okay, like, am I going to the Gulf Coast League? Am I going to Danville, Virginia? Am I going to Rome, Georgia, low A? Am I going to Myrtle Beach, high A? And you look at all these places and you see all the pictures and you're like, wow. Well, so we're going to be down in Orlando, Florida, where the spring training complex is. And you see all these pictures and all the media, the Braves. And what you don't see is 12 freaking backfields that are chain-linked fences. Now, the playing surfaces are the best in the world at the time, but you don't see, there's nobody there to watch the games, only scouts and coaches, and maybe your parents that fly in to watch a little bit, but There's nobody, like, there's no stadium. You're not playing in a stadium. Every once in a while, they would throw us a bone and play a stadium.
Now, this is what level is this?
This is Gulf Coast low. This is Gulf Coast Rookie League. This is low rookie. So the way the levels go, you've got rookie, then you got short season A ball, which is where Danville, Virginia was. It was short season Danville Braves. Then you had Rome, Georgia, which was the South Atlantic League A ball. Then you had Myrtle Beach, which was the Carolina League. That was high A. Double A, Pearl, Mississippi was double A. And then it was Richmond. And then they actually moved to Gwinnett, Georgia, triple A.
Okay.
So that was the levels.
And you worked your way up through.
I worked, so in 2005, I was there in we call it the Gulf Roast League because you played in the daytime and it was hot. I'm talking hot, dude. It was so hot. It was, but man, culture shock. You talk about being a hillbilly white trash honky from Richland County, Southern Illinois, to thawing out, freezing pipes underneath a house with no underpinning and hay bales stacked around the sides of it, to you're playing with the majority of your teammates are Latinos from Panama, from Nicaragua, from Venezuela to Puerto Rico, Mexico.
They know poverty too.
Yeah.
At a bigger level.
Right.
Probably a lot of them, most of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's not all of them.
Sure.
Not all those guys, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely some guys that we talk about some good cooks, man. I had some roommates. Pedro Rayo is one of my roommates that fall. And, man, he could cook. Man, he could cook anything out of a crock pot, but man, he was good. And all you had to do was you'd buy it for the both of us and he would show us how to do some crock pot chicken. So but you come in there and you think it's going to be this big glamorous thing, and it's not. You're not playing in a stadium. You're sitting in a bus on the way from, first of all, you get up in the mornings at 6:30, you go down, you eat a hotel continental breakfast, which consisted of powdered eggs and a bagel with cream cheese and maybe some yogurt and milk. And then you would get to the field and you would have your early work. You'd be out 4 to 8:15. And for us, that was catching. And so the catchers would go out and do their early work, all your catching drills. And then you come in for your team workout. You'd have a team fundamental, and then you would hit batting practice. And then after you hit batting practice, you go down into the 10-pack. And the 10-pack was, you had 10 pitcher's mounds. And you had a zillion, like you would catch 3 to 4 pins a day. 3 to 4 guys would have bullpens or sides. That 3 to 4 would have 30 pitch a day.
So you're putting in work. It's
dude, and then you go in at 11:45. Well, then you go in at 11:30, 11:45, and go in and grab a bite to eat, get a shower, and if you're lucky, you can get a 20-minute nap in, and then you're up, and then you're back out to get ready for a run, stretch, and throw at 1 o'clock, and then you're playing a game at 1:30. And then you'll play 9 innings, however many pitchers need to throw that day. You may play 9 innings, you may play 11 innings, you may play however many innings. And you're going to see the Clearwater Phillies. You saw for a little bit, you saw the Indians because they were in Winter Haven. And then you saw the Tigers in Lakeland, and then you saw the Yankees in Tampa Bay. And you played those guys every stinking day, and you talk about wearing each other out, and it was 7 days a week.
So how did you get the call then? Obviously you're performing, and then it's like you start working your way up the levels. The better you play, the better,
Yeah. So the it's not just the better you play. It has to do with maturity on where they think like, hey, can this guy handle the next step? Is it the right fit? Like, we've got a young pitching staff. We need older catching. We've got older pitching staff. We can handle a young catcher. Depends on the coaching staff. There's a ton of decision making that goes into what do we feel like is going to be best for this guy, especially guys that they've got a little bit of money in or a lot of money in, and they are someone that they envision being a big leaguer. Normally to get drafted, you got to have at least one tool that could play in the big leagues. But not everybody that they draft is going to be someone that they ever envision gets to the big leagues. There's always a chance, but ideally, like, you're going to play with 2 to 5 prospects on your team that they think might have a chance, and the rest of those guys are going to be there so the rest of those guys can play.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to keep them from achieving it, but when it boils down to it, I mean, hey, we really like this guy.
So whenever you get called up to the next one above you, like you're going from single A through the various leagues, you work your way up to 2A. Are they? I mean,
comes out of spring training a lot of times. Like, so in my case, I spent a year in the Gulf Coast League, and I was just okay. And then the next year I went to spring training, and I did not make it out of spring training. And so I had to stay through extended spring training, and then I went to Danville, Virginia, which is short season A ball. And I had a good year in short season A ball, and so it made sense for me to move up to Rome, Georgia, and go to Rome, Georgia, which was low A at the time. Had a decent year in Rome, Georgia. Was like, all right, we're going to send you to high A, and then from high A, all right, had a decent year in high A. We're going to send you to double A and kind of see where it's at. And that's, that's how. Now for other, and I was not a super I was a prospect at one time, but I bordered that more prospect / suspect. Like, that's,
right.
When you get inside the game a little bit, you're like, hey, this guy's more of a suspect than a prospect.
Right.
And so, there were some, this is what I tell people, like, when I was good enough to play in the big leagues, there wasn't really opportunity. You've got Brian McCann, Jaroslav Lamacchia, not a lot of guys know about probably, but he was a big donkey switch hitting catcher that was good behind the plate, big body dude. He ended up playing a little bit with Atlanta. It was a little different type player. Chipper was still in the big leagues with the Braves at that time, and I don't know how well those guys get along. And we had Brian McCann up in the big leagues with Atlanta, and he wasn't going. He was a Georgia boy. He wasn't going anywhere. And so they were able to trade Salty off to the Rangers and a few other prospects. And I think that was in the Mark Teixeira deal. We ended up renting Mark Teixeira for about a season, and it was a terrible move. It was, terrible, it was a terrible move. We traded the farm and didn't really get anything out of it. But I made the comment, is what I tell people, when I was good enough to probably play there was an opportunity, and then when I was good enough to probably play up there wasn't an opportunity. And then when there might have been some opportunity, I just flat out wasn't good enough. And at the end of the day, wasn't good enough at the right time.
Right. Now you got traded at some point, right?
I didn't get traded. I ended up, I was released from Atlanta, and then I signed a free agent contract with the Baltimore Orioles, and I was sent to Double A, which was awesome. I liked the organization. It was new. Atlanta had a lot of organizational changes. All the guys that were there when Atlanta brought me in moved to Kansas City, and Dayton Moore, who's an awesome human being, but he was a GM for the Royals. JJ Piccolo, he was all those guys were Sherholtz guys, and then they hired a guy by the name of Frank Wren with the Braves, and had a farm director named Kurt Kemp, and minor league coordinator Tommy Shields, and it just was, they just did not.
You thought you thought Baltimore was a better organization?
Well, at that
time.
I don't know that it was better, but it was fresh, and so you had a chance to make a new first impression, and really all the guys that brought me in and drafted me with Atlanta, that those guys all left to go to Kansas City. And so anytime you get organizational changeovers, you get administration changes, it can either be good for you or it can be not as good for you. And it wasn't as good for me. And but you could just tell the organization was just torn up. And now they've got it back rolling again now, but for as good as they were when they were winning 14 straight pennants,
right.
And then Sherholtz moved out and moved on to a senior vice president role or senior president role maybe, and Frank Wren was the GM. He just was not a very good general manager.
Okay, I've got, okay, you played, you went, AAA ball is the highest level that you played at, correct?
That was with the Norfolk Tides with the Baltimore Orioles. And you're talking a handful of games up there. Like I don't say I was a AAA baseball player. I played AA baseballs more what I would say.
Who were the best baseball players that you played with off the top of your head? Or anyone that people would know?
Yeah, most guys know Freddie Freeman. Play with Freddie. I caught quite a few of Craig Kimbrell's innings.
Okay.
He's a right-handed, he's a pretty good closer. Yeah.
Now, is it true that he started doing that whenever?
That was Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay. So describe anybody listening to this that go, I don't know, probably YouTube, Craig Kimbrell. He's got a very funny delivery. Whenever he sets up and he's staring, and is he a closer?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So when he's staring in
top 10 all-time closer.
Okay, there you, all right. So he's staring in at the catcher to get his sign, and I always call him a horny toad because he puffs. To me, it's like a horny. I don't know if you ever mess with horny toads. They puff up real big, and his arms come out to the side and they kind of hang down. And I always thought it's just something different in my mind to throw off the batter, to look intimidating. But there's actually something.
Yeah. So the reason that all started was we were in Huntsville, Alabama, which is pretty close to where he was from. And by the way, that field was terrible everything. It was, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but dude, you're talking about like, it was embarrassment to be in professional baseball. And I know it probably sounds terrible to hear, like sounds terrible out loud, but talking like bad stadium, bad everything. You could hear the buzz of the lights. No, just not good. But anyway, so Craig's there and it is hot. It is hotter than balls down in
Alabama,
Huntsville, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama.
100% humidity.
Oh, my goodness, dude. So, and I go back tomorrow if I could.
Yeah.
But so Craig is sweating his tail off. I'm talking sweating his tail off. And this guy, he's a 98-mile-an-hour arm. Yeah, he's a 100-mile-an-hour arm, and he's got a breaking ball. And if this dude doesn't know where the ball's going, anybody back there could get hurt. And so so here I am catching him. Well, he sets up. If you watch him, his right elbow will be above his right shoulder, and it's so sweat will run back from his elbow back into his shoulder, back into his body, and so that's why his elbow is cut. And he did it to help keep his hand dry.
That blew me away when you told me that.
Yeah, and so he's out just trying to keep it, instead of having his hands together up against his jersey, his hand is out away from his body, and it's just to try to keep it aired out.
And it makes sense.
Right. And he was good before then, but man, you're talking about a dude that it pretty much like clicked. And it's just, when you hear guys talk about how like that guy, the baseball, it's almost like it has another gear on the way to the dish. Like it explodes on you. Craig, I caught Craig quite a bit. I caught a bunch of Zach Brittons. No relation, but Zach Britton was a really good left-handed arm. He had a really good sinker, but I caught a lot of Zach Britton starts in Double-A Bowie, Maryland. And he ended up signing for some pretty good money with the Yankees and was pretty good with the Yankees for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. We're getting a little bit crunched on time here.
Sure.
And I know, man, and I hate to do this because I know you got 1,000 more stories. But before we do, one thing I want to get into is, because you also coached college, you've coached travel ball, and like I say, you've got what I call an organization. The Southern Smoke is different than just having a travel team. You guys. Wyatt came back from one of the practices once he made the team, and you guys were kind of explaining things to him, and I loved it. He's like, man, they're like, they better not see a mom or a dad carrying catcher's gear. They're treating us like, man, you're responsible for which was exciting to him, was exciting to us. It's like, okay, this is the right thing. This is more about baseball. This is about, and some of the things that you've put out on, I don't have any social media, but it's, the team snap stuff.
Yeah.
There was one that you put one time, and I don't know what spurred it. If you were at a game, you saw something, because we've seen, you don't see that on our team, but I have seen kids at some of these tournaments, the way they talk to their parents, the way they talk, just the way they carry themselves. And I remember you put a big long thing on there basically about, kind of going off on the coaches. The line that sticks with me was, you're like, coaches, parents, what are you scared of? Are you scared of this 13, 14, 15-year-old kid? Because they're not acting right. Your job is to get them to act right. That's more important than anything else in life, because, damn few of them are going to go play pro ball, but every one of them is going to be a man someday.
Sure.
And that's a heck of a lot more important than I remember. And so, gosh, we were up, it was one of these tournaments up north, and this kid's walking, very athletic, just had a great game. The kid's a stud. He's going to go play, for whoever. His mom, and he's probably 16, 17-ish. His mom is following. Obviously, he's on another team. She's following him, carrying all his gear. He's got his shirt untucked, his hat off, and he's got this strut. And she's following behind him, telling him about the sandwiches that she had brought. And he turns around, he goes, I ain't going to eat that effing shit. And I'm within arm's length as we're walking by. And that instinct, you just want to, gosh, I can't imagine ever speaking to my parents that way. I can't imagine my children ever. That's not even, and this woman's just tolerating this from this kid. And I'm like, my gosh, that's, anyway, I'm rambling here, but what do you see is the biggest problem today as far as within the baseball? Is this what, like, the parents that,
well, first of all, on parent, like, I don't want to give, I understand. I don't understand. I don't understand what it's like to be a mother, and I never will.
Right.
But I can only imagine, you've got this alien, and now you give birth, and now, this child is nothing but dependent on you.
Right.
Dependent on you for everything, to protect it, to feed it, to grow it, to help it. All the way up. And so it's a constant learning, but it's a gradual weaning. Like, you have to, otherwise you're going to be living, you live in your parents' basement till you're, 30 years old.
And that's not
28
good,
years
right?
old. Yeah, no, just waiting for what? What are you waiting for? And everybody's different. I do understand that. But I don't want to seem negative or mean or harsh on parents, because I still need mine. I don't need mine as much as what I did when I was growing up, but I still need mine.
Oh, absolutely.
But
sure.
I don't know what it's like to mothers are always going to mother you if you let them.
Right. Right.
And it's not
good mothers will.
Yeah. Like, boy, I'll see, like, boy, she's going to mother you to death, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be your own mother.
Right.
Like, there's other people that will just mother you to death too.
Sure.
And
they're good-hearted.
Yeah. And so there's nothing wrong with that, as long as there doesn't turn into anything being wrong with it.
Right.
When turns into, a kid, making sandwiches, and now this kid's
above that.
Like, okay, well, you need to start mothering this kid at this point.
Right.
And so when I made the comment that, hey, why are we afraid of 13 and 4? Like, why are we afraid of pulling them out?
Right.
It's just a baseball game. It's just a baseball tournament. I get it. It's $150 for a hotel room that night, and I get that there's a fee to play in this game, or there's the part that you'll never get back is you'll never get the time back.
Right.
And that's the part that people can make more money. You can always make more but you can't make more time. And so when you could fix something or get a hold of somebody at 12, 13, 14 years old,
correct the behavior.
Why wouldn't you help it right then? Otherwise you're going to get, we see it, 16, 17-year-old kids who don't carry their own bags to and from the ballpark.
It's crazy.
That's embarrassing. And I don't, it's embarrassing, and it's not embarrassing. It looks bad, but I'm not always worried about the look necessarily. The reason I'm worried about the look is because this is like I mean, this is big time embarrassing. I mean,
Right.
it goes way deeper than that. It's like, your 17-year-old son is running your show, and that is not at all how this should be.
What advice do you have for parents that have a kid that's maybe a freshman or a sophomore in high school? They're playing travel ball. This kid's got maybe a chance to play at the next level. What advice what are the best things you can tell them to get their son recruited? What would be your advice?
Okay. This is kind of how we handle our recruiting within Southern Smoke baseball. And maybe it's not even anybody that plays for me. Maybe it's through Britton's Bullpen. Maybe it's through our my baseball academy, baseball facility. Is, first of all, in order to be able to sell a product, it's got to be a good product, right?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't, if there's a kid with a bad attitude, there's not a college coach that I'm going to call, text, email, period, I can't do that.
Right.
It's in baseball. At the end of the day, in the game of baseball, you can have your country leading RBIs, or you can have the home run tallies and totals, or you can have this record and that record. Nobody cares about any of that at the end of the day. But what is more important than all that is the amount of respect that you have in the game. Do guys respect you? And if guys respect you inside the game, then you can go to bat for people.
Boy, and that's universal.
It's all over the place.
I mean, that is every occupation, that your reputation, how you conduct yourself as a man. Yeah, that's huge.
Well, and that's how, so the way we go about it is I'll get guys all the time like, hey, we're playing for you. Do you create recruiting profiles for guys? Like, nah, I mean, we don't create recruiting. Why would I create a recruiting profile for somebody that doesn't want to get recruited? And then he wants to play college ball. Well, does he? Is he in the weight room? Is he eating right? Is he getting decent sleep? Is he doing it in the classroom? Is he in the cage? I get you got multiple sport athletes. That part I understand completely.
Sure.
But are you still eating right? Are you up till 2:00 in the morning? Like, I see our guys on social media. I see the snaps that guys will send out at stinking 1:00 in the morning of their whatever. Like, all right. I mean, that guy needs to get some things figured out really quick.
Why aren't you? Yeah.
Right. And then you help them with that.
Right.
But so the way we handle it is I wouldn't ever recommend anybody paying for a recruiting service, especially in our area and our demographic. A lot of our guys are from small towns. So why would I say, hey, let's you can sink $2,500 into a recruiting platform or profile that's going to cost you $2,500, and we're going to send it to coaches all over the country. You're still going to have to, you are still going to have to film your own video. You'll send it into them and they'll put it in their template, and then they'll package this thing up, and then they will shotgun blast it to every school in the country.
You definitely need a video though, don't you? That was one thing we didn't.
Yeah, video is important. So video is important, and cage footage is good. Weight room footage is really good. Game speed footage is the best. And if you can help not having mom losing her mind while it's being recorded, that's a lot easier to get through.
Easier said than done.
It's not necessarily the worst case, but it's basically what it says to a coach is like, all right, who's ever recording this video has got a feel on how to act around the ballpark.
Right.
You know what I mean? Versus, hey, let's act like we've done it before.
Not our first time.
Let's not pimp home runs. Like, is this? I get it. If this is a special deal and this is the only home run this guy's ever going to hit, you want to have a party and you just won the game. Sure, party in the dugout. But otherwise, let's act like we've done it before. So, back on the recruiting side, we do more of a targeted approach. I'll use Wyatt for an example. Like, Wyatt, you've got some size, you got some strength. You need to be a little bit more consistent with bat to ball contact. There's some strength in there. You're athletic behind the plate. I really think you could play some JUCO baseball in the GRAC, the Great Rivers Athletic Conference. And Coach Modelmog down at Wren Lake is a friend of mine in baseball. like, Moggs, I got a dude. I know Moggs, and he's got a really cool personality. It's a quirky personality.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a super good dude. And like, hey, you know what? I think this may be a decent fit. And for us, that's how we handle. Now, I'll pick up the phone and call anybody anywhere. Like, hey, Coach, I've got, Wabash College up in I can't remember the town in Indiana, but just outside Indianapolis. I don't know anybody up there, but it's a Division III school. It's got awesome facilities. Like, or I'll call Lance Marshall at Franklin. Franklin's an awesome Division III school in Franklin, Indiana. Like, it's a solid school, solid program. It's going to cost you a little bit of money to go there. I'll call there and see what Lance has got. And if it looks like there's opportunity, then we'll do it. And that is, we try to do more of a targeted recruiting approach versus a shotgun scatter all over.
And I'll tell you what, I can't say enough about the program. It's anybody listening to this, Southern Indiana, Southern Illinois, do Kentucky boys ever come up?
I've not had any Kentucky guys come up. It's just far enough
just
out.
A little enough, yeah. So anybody down in that area, I can't recommend the Southern Smoke enough. And not only, gosh, we got to go, but man, we haven't even talked about Jonesy.
I know. I tried to get him up here today too, but he's got
busy, man.
He's got audits that are starting at the end of the week, and he's like, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he texted me yesterday like, hey, I think I can make it work. And I know it's busy, but he's like, dude,
he's
a
rock star.
Audits.
Yeah,
he's
and
awesome,
he's
man.
one of the coaches in the program.
Without Jonesy, there's no Southern Smoke baseball.
Yeah, he's huge.
And he's one of many. I mean, we've got Matt Rasanowski, freaking kills it too.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
So. Kids down in that area, the southern part of Illinois or Indiana, they're interested. They want to come play ball for the Smoke. How do they do that?
It's not just play baseball for us, but I mean, want to get some instruction in too. Like, I mean, Britton's Bullpen, Southern Smoke baseball runs out of Britton's Bullpen, but Britton's Bullpen, and so I'll work with kids from any organization, any high
website?
School. BrittonsBullpen.com.
And Facebook.
Facebook is Britton's Bullpen on Facebook, Southern Smoke Baseball on Facebook, and then
you offer instruction, hitting.
We work with all those guys. Yeah, you
awesome.
Got it.
Well, Phil, I know we've been talking for an hour and 23 minutes. I'm looking at the computer.
Yeah,
it goes by quick,
sure.
and we could talk for another 3 or 4.
Well,
we didn't even really get into any of your good stories.
I got off, and I'm bad about getting off and stinking rambling about all kinds of stuff. So
it's interesting for a guy like me that's never played any a sport. Most people, I guess, have not played sport at a professional level. So awesome. Well, thank you again, and maybe we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, man, we'll do it again.
All right, thank you, Phil.
Thank you.